Welcome back, everyone. Hey, you're at the shops, you tap your card, and your child asks, completely seriously, why didn't you just tap it again and get more? That's not a silly question. That's your child telling you out loud that money has become invisible to them. No wallet getting thinner, no coins counted out, just a beep, and whatever they want appears. But before I go on, this video is for parents that want to give their kids a jump start on their financial future and teaching that lasts, even when they're all grown up. So now kids think that the card, it never runs out. The question isn't whether cashless payments are good or bad. The question is whether your child ever gets a working model of where that money comes from and when it runs out, or whether money just quietly becomes something that appears whenever an adult taps a piece of plastic. Most parents respond to this moment in one of two ways, and neither one actually teaches anything. You either brush it off with a quick, "That's not how it works, love," and move on, which explains nothing, or you get a bit rattled by how disconnected your child seems from money and over-explain interest rates and bank systems to a 9-year-old who just wanted to know why the beep sound means yes. I want to offer you a third option, one that I've watched work in a classroom economy that itself moved from physical paper currency to a tracked digital ledger repeatedly over 8 years, and where I had to solve exactly this problem for 500 students. How do you keep money feeling real once you can't see it? Explaining interest rates to a 9-year-old who just wanted to know why the beep means yes, here's the third option. Here's what physical cash used to do for free, without any parent having to teach it directly. A wallet got visibly thinner. Coins ran out and had to be counted before you could buy something. A $10 note handed over meant a $10 note was now gone. See, scarcity was built into the object itself. A child didn't need it explained. They could see it. A card removes every one of those signals. There's no visible reduction. The same small object works whether there's $5 left or 5,000. And the sound it makes, that satisfying little beep, is identical whether the purchase was easily affordable or a genuine stretch. To a child watching from the trolley, every single tap looks and sounds exactly the same. There's nothing left to observe that would teach them scarcity. This isn't a character flaw in your child, and it isn't really about screens or technology either. It's a straightforward information gap. The system changed. The natural, no-effort lesson that cash used to provide simply isn't there anymore, which means it now has to be taught on purpose instead of absorbed by accident. Every tap looks and sounds identical, whether it's easily affordable or a genuine stretch. There's nothing left for the child to observe. So here's the framework. 3 habits, and none of them require going back to cash only, which frankly isn't realistic for most families anymore. Habit 1, narrate the transaction every time out loud in front of your child. Not a lecture, one sentence, like, "That's $42 out of our grocery money for the week." The card removed the visible signal, so your voice has to become the new signal. Said consistently, this single habit does more work than almost anything else on this list. Habit number 2, make the balance visible on purpose, regularly, together. Most banking apps show a running total in seconds, so once a week, pull it up with your child and actually look at it. Here's what came in, here's what went out. Here's what's left. This is the modern equivalent of counting coins on the kitchen table. The number replaces the physical stack, but the ritual of looking at it together is what actually teaches the lesson. Habit 3, give your child their own visible version, even if the money underneath is digital. A savings app with a number they can check, or, and this works surprisingly well, even for tech-comfortable kids, a physical jar or a chart that tracks the digital balance. The representation doesn't need to be physical money. It needs to be something a child can look at and watch change, the same way a wallet used to visibly change. The card removed the visible signal, so now your voice has to become the new visible signal. And what this builds? Well, what you're actually building here isn't a workaround for cashless payments. It's the exact skill your child will need for the rest of their financial life. Because almost none of their money will ever be physical again. Salaries, savings, investments, even most spending, all of it will exist as numbers on a screen for their entire adult life. The habit of actively checking in on money that you can't see or touch isn't a childhood exercise. It's the core financial skill, just introduced early, while the stakes are like a $2 school canteen order instead of a mortgage. I've watched this shift happen in real time in my own classroom. When we moved our economy from physical paper bank book to a tracked digital ledger, the students who kept checking their own balance, who asked questions about what they'd spent, held on to exactly the same money instincts they'd had with their cash. The ones who stopped looking because the ledger just sat there quietly in the background drifted the fastest into casual overspending, not because they were careless, but because nothing was prompting them to look. And the child who hears the transaction narrated, who checks the balance weekly, and who has their own visible number to watch, doesn't experience cashless money as invisible. They experience it as a system they've been trained to check. And that single habit, checking rather than assuming, is worth more than any amount of cash counting ever was. I'd love to know, has your child ever said something like, "Why didn't you just tap it again?" Or assumed that the card just refills itself? Drop the exact moment below. Or visit our Facebook community. These real stories are genuinely the best research I get for future videos. The link in the description below. If you've made it this far in the video, I consider you an Adventure Club mate. And if you got value from being here today, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share with anyone you think would also benefit. And I'll see you in the next episode, Tuesday and Thursday, every week.